The global demand for lithium, a key component in batteries for electric vehicles and electronic devices, has surged in recent years, and with it, the race to secure reliable sources of the mineral. In this context, Jammu and Kashmir J&K, a region in India, has emerged as a potential hotspot for lithium reserves, with some estimates suggesting that the area may hold as much as $3 trillion worth of the mineral. However, the rush to exploit J&K's lithium resources is not without controversy. The region has long been a site of geopolitical tensions between India, Pakistan, and China, and the prospect of a lucrative natural resource only adds to the complexity of the situation. The current situation in J&K is a result of a long-standing territorial dispute between India and Pakistan, which dates back to the partition of British India in 1947. The region is divided between the two countries, with India controlling the majority of the territory, including the regions of Jammu, Kashmir, and Ladakh. However, Pakistan claims sovereignty over the entire region and has been involved in a series of conflicts with India over the issue, including the ongoing insurgency in J&K. China has also been involved in the dispute, with its claims on the Aksai region, which is currently administered by China but is claimed by India as part of J&K. The Chinese government has also expressed interest in the region's lithium resources and has reportedly conducted surveys in the area. Against this backdrop, the Indian government has recently taken steps to exploit J&K's lithium resources. In 2018, the Indian government formed the J&K Mineral Development Corporation (JKMDC) to explore and exploit the region's mineral resources. The JKMDC has identified lithium as a key mineral of interest and has reportedly conducted surveys that suggest that the region may hold up to 1,600 million tons of the mineral. The potential value of J&K's lithium reserves is staggering, with some estimates suggesting that they could be worth as much as $3 trillion. This has led to a flurry of interest from both domestic and international companies, including Tesla, which has reportedly expressed interest in the region's lithium resources. However, the rush to exploit J&K's lithium reserves is not without controversy. The region's complex geopolitical situation makes it difficult to navigate, and there are concerns about the impact that mining could have on the environment and local communities. One major concern is the potential impact of lithium mining on the region's water resources. J&K is home to several major rivers, including the Indus and the Jhelum, which are important sources of water for both India and Pakistan. There are concerns that mining activities could contaminate these rivers, which could have serious consequences for both human and environmental health. There are also concerns about the impact of mining on the local communities in J&K. The region is home to several indigenous communities, including the Bakarwals and the Gujjars, who are heavily dependent on the land for their livelihoods. Mining activities could displace these communities and threaten their traditional way of life. Moreover, the region's complex geopolitical situation adds an additional layer of complexity to the issue. The ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan over the region means that any mining activities in J&K could be seen as a provocation by Pakistan, which could lead to further escalation of tensions in the region. There are also concerns about China's interest in the region's lithium resources. China is currently the world's largest producer of lithium, and its dominance in the industry has led to concerns about its ability to manipulate global prices and control supply. If China were to gain access to J&K's lithium reserves, it could further solidify its position as the dominant player in the industry, which could have significant geopolitical implications. In response to these concerns, some experts have called for a more cautious approach to the exploitation of J&K's lithium resources. They argue that any mining activities should be carried out in a way that takes into account the needs and concerns of local communities, as well as the potential environmental impacts of the industry. There are also calls for greater transparency in the allocation of mining licenses and the distribution of profits from the industry. Some critics have argued that the Indian government has not been transparent in its dealings with mining companies, and that there are concerns about corruption and cronyism in the industry. Another issue is the potential for conflict over the control of J&K's lithium resources. Given the complex geopolitical situation in the region, there are concerns that mining activities could become a source of tension between India, Pakistan, and China. This could lead to a further escalation of the conflict in the region, with potentially catastrophic consequences. To mitigate these risks, some experts have called for a multilateral approach to the exploitation of J&K's lithium resources. This could involve the participation of all stakeholders, including India, Pakistan, China, and local communities, in the decision-making process. Such an approach would help to ensure that the needs and concerns of all stakeholders are taken into account and would help to prevent the exploitation of the region's resources from becoming a source of conflict. There are also calls for greater investment in alternative technologies that could reduce the reliance on lithium. This could include the development of new battery technologies that use alternative materials, as well as greater investment in renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power. By reducing the demand for lithium, such technologies could help to alleviate the pressure on J&K's resources and reduce the risk of conflict over their control. In conclusion, the rush to exploit J&K's lithium resources is a complex issue that raises a number of geopolitical and ethical concerns. While the potential value of the region's lithium reserves is enormous, there are significant risks associated with their exploitation, including the potential for environmental damage, displacement of local communities, and conflict over their control. To mitigate these risks, a multilateral approach that takes into account the needs and concerns of all stakeholders is essential. This could involve greater investment in alternative technologies, greater transparency in the allocation of mining licenses, and a more cautious approach to the exploitation of J&K's resources. Ultimately, the long-term sustainability of the lithium industry will depend on the ability of all stakeholders to work together to ensure that its benefits are shared fairly and its risks are managed responsibly. Thank you for watching this video on the $3 trillion lithium scam in J&K and the geopolitics of natural resources. We hope that this video has helped to shed some light on the complex issues surrounding the exploitation of J&K's lithium resources, including the potential environmental and ethical concerns, as well as the geopolitical risks. As we've discussed, there is a need for a more cautious and multilateral approach to the exploitation of J&K's resources, one that takes into account the needs and concerns of all stakeholders, including local communities and neighboring countries. Additionally, there is a need for greater investment in alternative technologies that can help to reduce the demand for lithium and mitigate the risks associated with its exploitation. We encourage you to continue exploring these issues and engaging in thoughtful discussions about the responsible management of natural resources. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and sharing it with others who may be interested. Thank you again for watching.